Hey everybody, my name's Alan from Japan Ichiban, and Japan has a problem. Let's have a chat. So, a bit of a background story about me before we go on to the issue at hand, if that's the right term. My name's Alan, I'm from the northwest of the UK, as some of you will probably already know. I started a Facebook page, which you can see down here, called Japan Ichiban in 2019, and I have just short of 70,000 followers. I post daily content on Japan, either a photo or a video, either my own photos or some from other Japanese creators across the metaverse, if that's the right term nowadays. Generally, the hopefully trying to make it a place for promotion about Japanese things, Japanese people, Japanese food, Japanese travel, all those types of things. A few things to show you. These are recent posts. Dr. Yellow in its full glory. All the Japanese content creators, thanks very much, Mr. Ninja Monkey-san. Some classic McDonald's things, and other things like this. Just an example of what my reach could be. Here in an earlier post, lovely picture of a traditional Japanese village, Miyama, near Kyoto. And this is the inside to this particular one. 200,000 people, all Japanese interested people, reached on this particular post. I try to share every single day, well I do share every single day, some content about Japan in some way, shape or form. As you can see, it never stops. I've done that for over 3 years now, trying to promote Japan and the country which I fell in love with as a young child. But Japan, like most places, has issues. Let's talk about some of those now. In fact, a little bit of backstory as well before I carry on. 2019 was the last time I visited Japan. With my wife, I've been several times. I was due to go again in 2020. I was fully booked with ANA and had my accommodation booked separately with Airbnb. A fantastic little house in not far from Shinjuku. Looking forward to it for the four of us, myself, my wife, and our two children as well. Unfortunately, 2020 happened, something that couldn't be helped, so we decided not to go to Japan, and then it was closed anyway. ANA gave us our money back quite quickly, thanks very much ANA, and so did Airbnb as well. Again, thank you very much Airbnb for doing that. Being in control of my own flights and my own accommodation made that process quite easy, I feel. So that's the last time I was due to go. So I haven't been since 2019, but I was going every year up until that point. So some good news about what Japan has done recently. Japan has increased its daily visitor cap for foreigners from 20,000 a day to 50,000 a day, under the guise of tourism, but I think that might be towards more labour, getting foreign labour into the country, not necessarily just tourism. But either way, an increase to 50k is welcomed. Well done, Japan. Some other good news, which is here on the MOFA website. Be careful when you say that one. Effectively, the triple vaccinated visitors no longer need a pre-flight negative COVID result, which is good news. It takes a lot of stress out of people's minds, I believe. I'd be quite nervous if I'm trying to get 4 pre-flight COVID tests done and make sure they're all okay, considering the expense that it is to get to Japan. So again, another move in the right direction. Well done, Japan. Unfortunately though, some of the moves in the right direction are joined with some moves in the wrong direction as well. It's all around this latest September the 7th update and what we've been doing so far. September the 7th, what has changed? Not a lot, unfortunately. There is a convoluted entry process into Japan. What do I mean by that? Japan has effectively got these tours now available, which are, you have to book a tour through a Japanese tour operator or a Japanese travel agent, even though there's no guide on that tour itself. So how is that a tour? I don't actually know. Everybody I speak to wants to book themselves. They want to book their own flights, they want to book their own accommodation, and they want to basically have those benefits that come with doing those things yourselves. When you can't book your own flights, you lose things like air miles, You lose, just general controls. So if you wanted to add another bag, all those type of things that normally come with keeping control of flights yourselves. If you have to now book through a travel agent, that is no longer possible. Also, lots of people who didn't take the cash back like I didn't in 2020, people who transferred their tickets to a transferable ticket for the future, so 2021, 2022, etc., those are no longer accepted by travel agents. So if you have a transferable ticket, you cannot use that to get to Japan at the moment in time. These are the people who've been waiting all these years, who've kept their faith in Japan and are not allowed to use those transferable tickets, which is a disgrace. In terms of that, in terms of flights. In terms of accommodation itself, you can't book your own hotels. As I've said, you have to go for a travel agent, and you can't use Airbnb again. Now, several times I've been to Japan, and several times I've used Airbnb. I've used hotels as well, but Airbnb has been fantastic. Thanks to the unique zoning laws that Japan has in its cities, you can generally get a residential building right in the heart of the city. I know myself, I've stayed in Shinjuku, in a lovely little apartment more than once. I've stayed in Shinokubo, right on the border of Kabukicho and Okubo itself, so what a fantastic place. These are the places that tourists want to be because it's the shortest commute to anywhere you'd like to go. I was right on the doorstep of Koreatown and Kabukicho behind me as well, so what a fantastic place to be. I cannot book Airbnb, and nobody can book Airbnb through these travel agents. Again, what a mess. How self-guided tours can be policed, I'm not really sure, but again, that doesn't make much sense. Proof that nobody actually wants to go on these guided tours or even self-guided tours. In June, 252 tourists came to Japan. In July, 7,900 tourists. This is a country that used to see an average of 30 million tourists a year. Now it's only seeing 7,900 a month. You don't have to be an accountant to work out that that's nowhere near what it used to be. So what does Japan do? Those are the questions. What can Japan do? Here's some thoughts from myself. I will come up to these and bring them across to you. So this is just my idea, of course, not necessarily what it needs to do, but these are some good ideas I hope that Japan will implement themselves. So what should Japan do? Number 1, reintroduce the visa waiver program, like less than the G7. I'm based in the UK. I can travel to almost any G7 country without any hindrance at all. No need for any pre-COVID flight vaccinations or anything else, or to book through a travel agent. Why? I would never know. So Japan, number 1, reintroduce visa waiver program. Number 2, extend the e-visa to these countries. I believe now if you're in North America, so the USA and Canada as well, you can use an e-visa. Why can we not use them in the other countries? Why do we have to mess about sending our documents off to the consulates? For example, I live in the northwest of the UK, and the consulate is in London. So what do? Send it by post and hope my passports don't get lost? 4 passports for 4 people? Absolutely not. Do I go down to London and lose 2 days? No. So e-visas are crucial for those countries as well. Also, allow tourists to book on flights and accommodation like we have done for years. Come on, Japan, you know that. You know this. We've done this successfully ourselves for years. Why are we not doing it ourselves? My worry is that Japan doesn't want to do it because they are worried themselves about how much potential COVID is coming to this country. Point 1 on that, Japan has been the worst in the entire world for the past few weeks. So keeping tourists out isn't really working for COVID problems. If you are worried that somebody will bring COVID, then let them alert you themselves, which brings me on to my next point. Give tourists a point of contact in Japan who they can report any COVID-related symptoms to. A COVID hotline for tourists, for example, or even using my SOS app. We are adults, Japan. We can do this ourselves. We do it ourselves already in our countries. Why not trust us to do this? I don't understand. Why do we need to book through a tour or a travel agency or a tour company so they can be responsible for us? We are responsible for ourselves. I'm travelling 6,000 miles to come to your country and spend my hard-earned cash. Hard-earned is up for debate, but either way, it's still spending the cash that I want to spend. So are thousands of us. So are, as I've showed you before, 70,000 other people who are following me, and they want to go to your country, as do I, but I cannot get in because of those rules. if you implement the rules, like I just said, these things, this is probably enough for me. I'm not speaking for everybody else, of course, but introduce a waiver program so I can just get in there, don't have to book through a travel agency. E-visa, happy to do that as long as it's the e-visa stuff. Let me put that like every single other country in the world except for North Korea. And this, if I have to do this report coverage to a specific place, I'm also happy to do this as well, but make it easy for me to do. Either a bilingual, multilingual hotline for us to speak to, or even in that fantastic My SOS app. I'm sure you'll be making us download it anyway, so why not use the My SOS app? I'm sorry this has been a bit of a rant, everybody. I care deeply about Japan and the future of the country. Japan's a country I love going to. I have some of my most fondest memories are there, wandering around aimlessly, finding a local restaurant, a local bar, anything, a smoky izakaya somewhere. I absolutely implore everybody I know to go to Japan and have a fantastic time. But at the moment, I cannot do that in good faith because of these MOFA, which is close enough, I think. These MOFA guidelines that are up at the moment in time. These are not sufficient for me and for many other Westerners to come to Japan. China can't come either. North Korea and other places such as Taiwan are opening up their borders at the moment in time. Japan will be left behind, and I sincerely don't want that to happen. So, food for thought. Hopefully Japan can make the right decisions and get back to visa waiver travel. Let me know what you think, if I'm right or if I'm just some gaijin crying in his bedroom in the northwest of the UK. If you like what you see, please follow me on Facebook. As I mentioned before, you can be part of the 70,000. If not, follow me on YouTube. I'll probably do some more videos like this. And yeah, let me know. Thanks very much. Come on, Japan. Let's do the right thing. Ganbatte kudasai! Peace, guys.